everyone. Today we're going to unravel dark mysteries, uncover hidden secrets, and dive deep into the chilling and enigmatic world of true crime. Can you imagine what happens when a family's peaceful camping trip turns into a blood-soaked nightmare? In the early hours of July 22, 2022, a seemingly random attack left three beloved family members, Tyler Schmidt, Sarah Schmidt, and their daughter, Lula, dead in their tent. Who was the mysterious assailant, and what could have driven him to commit such a horrific crime? Let's dive into the chilling details of the Schmidt murder case that took place at the Maquoketa Cave State Park Campground in Iowa in 2022. Before we begin, I want to warn you that this story involves children and is incredibly heartbreaking. If this is something you might find triggering, please take care of yourself. Tyler Schmidt was born on November 13, 1979, in Iowa, USA. He grew up in Cedar Falls, a city known for being home to the University of Northern Iowa. From a young age, Tyler joined the Boy Scouts, where he achieved the esteemed rank of Eagle Scout. This experience ignited his lifelong love for nature and camping. Sarah was born on March 27, 1980, in Kansas City. She spent part of her childhood near St. Louis with her siblings, Karen, Jane, and Adam. As a student, she excelled in studies, but not only in studies, she also actively participated in all the projects. And in one of them, she won a scholarship to Truman University. And this is where Tyler and Sarah met. On Thursday, July 21st, the family packed their car and drove roughly 140 miles to reach Maquoketa Caves. Tyler and Sarah, both 42, along with their children, Arlo, 9, and Lula, 7, arrived at the campsite before 5 p.m. The camping area was packed, so the Schmidt family set up near the park's entrance. A few hours later, around 7 p.m., another family parked about 200 feet from their tent. This was Joe and Cecilia Sherwin and their 23-year-old son, Anthony Sherwin, from Nebraska. The Sherwins set up two tents, one for the parents and another for their son. Anthony was always attentive to his parents' needs, and his mother often said he was the best son she could have wished for. Kind, sensitive, and an exceptional student. As night fell at Maquoketa Caves, the campers settled into their tents. Before dawn, on July 22nd, the park visitors were jolted awake by the sound of gunshots. Just before the commotion, a man dressed in black entered the Schmidt's tent and attacked Tyler and then Sarah. Arlo, who had been asleep, woke up to the sound of his sister Lula's screams. As he turned, he saw blood inside the tent. Anyhow, he managed to escape and ran to seek help. As he fled, he heard one last shot. Cecilia and Joe, in the neighboring campsite, rushed out of their tent amid the confusion. Joe searched for his son among the campers, asking if anyone had seen him. Arlo ran until he encountered the Sherwins. He was screaming and asking for help, saying his parents had been shot. Cecilia took his hand and ran with him to the park entrance. Once there, terrified and unsure of what had happened, she pulled out her phone and dialed 911. She was also worried because her son was sleeping near the tent where the shots had come from. The dispatcher received a chilling 911 call from a camper who had found Arlo. The call, filled with the frantic recounting of the horrors, provides a haunting glimpse into that morning. In that call, Cecilia Sherwin struggled with the pronunciation of Maquoketa. After several attempts at describing her location, it clicked for the Jackson County 911 dispatcher. She was talking about Maquoketa Caves. Shooting, Sherwin said. We heard it this morning, and this kid was screaming. He said his parents were shot, and there's blood. Despite the chaos, the dispatcher remained calm, asking vital questions to understand the situation. Arlo, brave beyond his years, provided crucial information that helped authorities piece together the events. And around 6:30 a.m., police officers and paramedics arrived at the scene and headed to the Schmidt's tent. What they found was horrifying. All the occupants of the tent were dead. The beautiful campsite had turned into a crime scene, and law enforcement immediately began searching for the shooter. They also started evacuating the park for safety purposes. It then came to be known that everyone was there except one person, and that was Anthony Sherwin. That's why he immediately became the suspect in the eyes of the law, as he was also armed. So, an aerial search was conducted for him, during which a man was spotted lying on the ground. And he was not anyone but Anthony. He was already dead on the other side. When citizens of Cedar Falls heard the news, they were shocked. The atmosphere changed suddenly, as if a gray veil had covered the sky. The reactions of the family, friends, acquaintances, and even those who didn't know the victims were filled with pain. The whole of Cedar Falls was in mourning. When they moved to Cedar Falls, they were welcomed warmly and soon became active members of the community. Tyler continued working as a software engineer, while Sarah started working as an assistant at the city's public library, and the children enrolled in Lincoln Elementary School's preschool. Tyler and Sarah were known for their kindness and willingness to help others, making everyone around them feel important. This commitment earned them the affection of their neighbors and the entire community. The same was true at the library, where Sarah worked. Her warmth and friendly demeanor quickly made her well known and appreciated both inside and outside the library. That's why in one of the windows of the Cedar Falls Public Library, where Sarah worked, a sign was placed with a message saying that Tyler, Sarah, and Lula had left too soon, but would always be in their hearts. The company where Tyler worked as a software engineer issued a statement describing him as a consummate professional and a mentor to his colleagues. The mayor of Cedar Falls also urged the residents of Cedar Falls to be generous towards Arlo, the sole survivor of the family who was safe. He also shared a GoFundMe link for those wishing to donate. You can't believe that within a few days, the initiative had raised over $276,000. In response to the tragedy, the local authority ordered the closure of the library for the rest of the day out of respect for Sarah's co-workers. The authorities continued their investigation into the horrific crime. As the investigation continued, it became clear that Sherwin had acted alone. But the mystery remained. Why target the Schmidt family? They had no known connection to Sherwin, making this tragedy all the more senseless and terrifying. Investigators have concluded that all evidence collected points to Anthony Sherwin acting alone, though they have not revealed a motive. Sherwin's mother, Cecilia, disputes this, stating it was out of character for her son. She described Anthony as kind, sensitive, an exceptional student, and an aspiring businessman. Also, the records show no prior interactions with the police, except one incident in July 2017, when he reported a billing error with his insurance. She mentioned that her son was wearing green when she last saw him, contrary to the witness's description of the assailant wearing black. No black clothing was found near the scene. She also noted that their family was legally traveling with a gun, which was in a secure container at their campsite when they returned from a walk and found Anthony missing. She speculated that Anthony might have sensed trouble and grabbed the gun for safety. Cecilia emphasized that the family only recently became gun owners after experiencing safety concerns during previous camping trips. They had taken classes and joined a range, and Anthony had shown no interest in harming anyone. Officials haven't disclosed if Sherwin had a firearms permit. but Iowa law allows permit holders to carry firearms almost anywhere. The gun found near Sherwin's body was identified as a ghost gun, an untraceable firearm made from parts bought online. Despite multiple requests, police have not confirmed whether the gun found with Anthony matched the one used in the Schmidt murders. Cecilia Sherwin has raised questions about the discrepancies in the case, such as the difference in clothing descriptions and the lack of transparency from the police. She believes that an independent review is necessary to determine the true events. Iowa Department of Public Safety Commissioner responded that the requested records were not public, and they could only share the immediate facts and circumstances of the case, which were included in the links. So this case remains shrouded in mystery, with many unanswered questions. Was Anthony Sherwin responsible, or was another unknown assailant involved? Arlo, the only survivor of the massacre, was taken in by his family in Cedar Falls, specifically Sarah's brother. In an exclusive interview with a local newspaper, Sarah's brother stated that his nephew had been very brave and was in excellent mental health. The GoFundMe page, created after the tragedy, continues to receive donations to support Arlo's upbringing and to establish an educational fund for his future. The Schmidt family's story is a gentle reminder of life's fragility and the senseless violence that can shatter lives in an instant. As the investigation wraps up, the community rallies around Arlo, hoping to give him a semblance of normalcy in a world that has been turned upside down. Thank you for joining me today. Please keep your loved ones close and hold the Schmidt family in your thoughts. Stay safe, and I look forward to seeing you next time.